Hello everybody. So it has been quite a while since I've done a review, and I know I promised the review of the Chiron from Xingbao, and I haven't actually done that, but I will eventually get to that. But before that, I am going to be reviewing Lepin 23002. I don't actually know what the set is called, but it's based off of a Koenigsegg 1-to-1, which is a Swedish supercar, and the set has over 3,000 pieces, and it's well, it is the biggest knockoff set I've ever bought, and it's the biggest actual set I've ever built. And when I first ordered it, I was a little worried that being a knockoff set, that it was going to have some missing pieces or some difficulties. But really, in the end, it wasn't that bad to build, so I'm going to be going over all of that in this video. Now, because I bought the set online, I did not get a box with it, so there won't be a box review. I'm not sure what the box for the set actually looks like in China and in Hong Kong, where you could buy it in a store. But I will go over the instruction manual. So the instruction manual itself is extremely thick. It's not broken down into two parts at all. It's just one big booklet. It's got a glossy front and a glossy back as well. And there is, let's see, 184 pages in this book, so it's quite a hefty book. It builds like a Lego set. There are a couple parts where you will build a section and it doesn't really fit into the rest of the vehicle, so you kind of have to modify it as you go along, but it's not terribly difficult. If you've built a set this big, or if you built some other sets, you're not going to have any difficulty. And the instruction manual itself, it's nice thick paper. It's got the glossy front and back, and then just regular Lego type pages, and it came with a sticker over top of the Lepin logo. I'm not sure why, maybe for customs reasons. So I tried peeling that off, and it didn't really work. So they don't all come like that, gross like that. It's just I failed at peeling it off. But overall, instructions were pretty good. Besides the parts where you had to kind of jam stuff in, but that's probably the biggest complaint about the set, and a couple people have said that. So if you're prepared for that, it's really not hard. So obviously the set doesn't have any minifigures, so I'm just going to get straight into the build. So first off the bat, this is the biggest set I've ever built, piece-wise and size-wise. It's quite a huge set, and I really underestimated how big it was going to be. When I ordered, I mean, you can see the dimensions online. You think, oh yeah, it's going to be a fair size, whatever. But then when you actually get it and build it, it's way bigger than I was expecting. So here I'm going to put the Lego Ferrari F40 beside it, and you can see the F40 just looks tiny compared to it. It's like a quarter of the size. I really wasn't expecting that. I actually didn't have anywhere to put it at first, so I had to get a new little shelf to put it on. So besides the size, this thing is it's a copy of a mock from a guy online, which, I mean, everything basically from Lepin is a copy. So this actually isn't a real Lego set. So in cases like that, you're going to get sections that are kind of put together funny, might use illegal connections, and you get a lot of that in the set. It's really not a set to play with. It's very much a display set. But that being said, there are a lot of features on this car. Well, not a lot, but there are some features on this car, so you can sit and play with it if you want. And the feature that most people, like me included, is the way the doors work. So the doors come out and they go straight up, but the way they come out is really something. I'm going to show you here, and it's going to take a while because they're all manual, but you can see they're going out and up at the same time. And the mechanism that does that is really neat. And of course, this was designed not by Lepin, but by the guy they copied it from. So it's quite a neat design. It's one of my favorite features of the car, and both sides do go up, but they go up independently. You could probably motorize it or make them go at the same time if you wish, but the way that it's set up on this, it obviously can't. And I'm not going to bother putting that door back because it takes too long. And the front does open. There is nothing in there. It's just, I don't know, for display. One thing is, on the set, when you build it, this doesn't like to stay down. This little this little piece here, I added this on to make it sit. So normally when the set is assembled, it sits like that, and it looks kind of funny. So I put a piece in there that makes it close, and it's not very hard to do. You get a bunch of extra pieces, probably 50 to 80 extra pieces at least. So it's really an easy modification to do. And then of course there is steering, and the steering wheel does steer in here. Although if you try to turn with the steering wheel, it tends to break off. So I just turn it by the wheels. And then of course there is suspension in the front and suspension in the back. The back suspension is a lot stiffer than the front suspension. I know the lighting's pretty terrible here. Let's get a light there. So the back suspension is a lot stiffer than the front. I'm not sure why. I tried to modify it a little bit so that it wasn't as stiff, but if you do, then it kind of screws it up and sits really low, so I just left it the way it is. It's not that bad. And so besides those features, the last feature, well, and actually, yeah, I'll get to the last feature last, but the back also does open up to show the engine, and this is really painful to watch because it takes forever, and you have to turn the knobs in different directions. But the back does open. It takes forever, and you can see the rear suspension setup here. It's got two shocks, one on each side, and then it's got a big center shock, and it helps just keep the car a little bit higher off the ground because this weighs quite a bit. And in here you can see the V8, and unfortunately, so the last feature of this car is this car, the Mach itself has a 4-speed sequential transmission, and Lepin tried to make it work. I don't know why it doesn't work, but it does not work in this set. The paddle shifters get kind of bound up and nothing really turns in the back. Like, you can roll the car back and forth, but the engine doesn't spin like it's supposed to, and you can see certain gears in the transmission not spinning, so there's something missing from there. If you really wanted to make it work, I'm sure you could. I really don't care because it's just a display piece, but it is a downside if that's something that you're looking for. And just as a final last bit here, I'm just going to shine the lights in here if I can get them in, just so you can kind of see the interior. Because there is a little bit of interior. The seats are pretty nice. Let's see here. There we go. So there's orange stripes on the seats, and it's not a terribly complicated interior. A lot of it is taken up by structure because obviously there's the big gearbox in there that they try to incorporate, and then there's the steering. So it's just kind of a couple little details, but overall this is probably one of my favorite sets to have built. So I know I haven't made a video in a while, and it was partially due to me being extremely busy with school, but also because I didn't really have any sets to review. I wasn't ordering as many anymore. But I actually recently found a local store that had just a couple brands. So, as you can see, there's quite a few here, and I've actually got a bunch more. This is just what I could fit in the frame. So I'm going to be having quite a few videos coming up in the near future here. Can't guarantee it'll be right away, but hopefully either this week or sometime in January I will be getting some new videos up for you guys. So if you're looking for some more videos and don't want to wait 6 months again, don't worry, I am actually going to have some up again. So see you guys next video.